My name is Zavai. I'm a seven-figure pay-per-lead agency owner, and in this video, right, as you can see, last 30 days we spent around 80 grand. We sell leads anywhere from $250 to $400, depending on qualification, and we generate them for about 150 bucks, going lower. Now, that's obviously also excluding disqualified leads, right? That we still monetize. If you don't know what that is, you will at the end of this video. But it adds another 20% profit, so to say. And now we're going to be talking about one of the most extreme pay-per-lead business models, right? Because if you're anything like an entrepreneur who wants to build an 8, 9 figure business, you have two ways to go, right? Either you do e-com or you do pay-per-lead. And pay-per-lead is a model basically nobody knows about. Iman hasn't talked about it. So you're good. You're good. Like you discovered this fucking hidden gem of a channel. And now I'm just like actually flattering my own ass. But now for this specific business model, it is one of the most insane case studies you will ever find on the internet when it comes to marketing, because this company has generated $446 million on it's listed on the London Stock Exchange, and it made 150 million profit. That's a 33% profit margin on a $500 million company. Isn't that insane? Like, you will not be able to reach that profit margin in ecom, right? And I know somebody in my industry, like car accidents, right? MVA, at it's known, he's spending $300,000 a single day. You can look it up online. His name is Angelo. He owns Case Connect, right? He's the GOAT in my industry. $300,000. That's 9 million a month, right? Is my math here, like, basically it's almost 9 million a month, and they make like 50 million in a year, right? So it is an insane business model, and you have to be able to acknowledge that after this case study, because essentially what it is, right, is it's a different utilization of your already existing skill set. No matter if you're in marketing, you already have some decent level of sales skills, right, as well as media buying skills, and this is the pinnacle application of it, right? Because with retainer model, you've probably never heard of anybody who scaled past 1 million a month. Digital ox, right, they sell like very high ticket, like the denture retainers, 3 4 grand a month. They scale to 500, probably like 6 700. Hard to scale past 1 million. Do you know anybody who did it, and how long did it take them, right? I have another case study on my channel. Homebuddy sold for 150 million cash to Quinn Street, an all cash deal, right? And it took them 4 years to build this brand up. 4 fucking years, bro. That's how much you would probably need to scale to 100 grand in profit in retainer based model. And I would have significant respect for somebody who does that, because I did retainer and I couldn't scale past 4 clients, right? And now I'm doing 4 grand in profit for off like a few clients. I have less than 5 clients now. Specifically with e-commerce, it's also scalable, but the management of the infrastructure and the supply chains, it gets complex. And paper lead, you're just selling data, right? You're essentially just selling data. You have a consumer that comes onto this website, right? They get value, right? They get value because they save money on travel, home insurance, or other money type of mortgages. Let's say they want a car accident, like they I'm already saying car accident thing. They want to basically have some sort of, loan calculator where they can save money. All right, they go to Money Supermarket because they're the biggest brand out there. They trust them. They've been in business for 20, 30 years, right? And based on that, they can save money, right? They're legit saving money by using the different calculators. And on the back end, what happens, right, is Money Supermarket is essentially selling their data, their customer information that includes first name, last name, phone number, email, right, and all these different qualifications to a network of buyers on the back end. So specifically, as with buying a painting, right? Like if you're bidding on the Mona Lisa, or like one of these like abstract modern art paintings, like 50 million, 30 million, 20 goes to the highest bidder. This is the exact same thing with leads, right? So on the back end, you have a network of buyers automatically bidding on how much they are willing to pay for a lead. Like for such a lead, maybe it's like $10, $20. And then there's exclusive leads that you sell to a single buyer, or like shared leads that you sell to multiple buyers. And there's pay per click, pay per call, right? You get paid based on a 60-minute call, not 60-second call, right? Because obviously the call has to amount to something to be able to be billable, or nobody wants to pay for a call, right? That's just spam. And paying for each click of customer that went to your website, that's also doable with these businesses, right? So it's a basically you get attention, you qualify them, right, using quiz funnels, right? You see if they have enough money, and you send the customers and the leads to the buyers on the back end. Those are corporate giants with millions and millions dollars of marketing spend. One of my clients, they spent $4 to $5 million a single month on marketing, right? And they were able to send me like 30 grand on their first test order. But one of my friends, they sent 300 grand, which is a difficult deal nonetheless, but also pretty lucrative. Now, specifically, they sell the lead for like maybe $30, they get them for $20. In this case, why it's so profitable is because a lot of this is word of mouth. They already know this brand, they search for it, it's established on Google via search engine optimization, right? So when they say like save money or save on car insurance, they pop up in the UK. So they're already the market leader. So they don't have a lot of cost in acquiring a lead, and they can make like $30, $20 profit selling each customer information, and make do the math at scale, right? It's absolutely insane what they pull. And specifically, they're consisting of three different brands in multiple verticals, because you don't want to be in one single vertical, right? You want to be in multiple to spread the risk apart, or you want to be in a bucket, where you're basically, for instance, in the money market, right? Anything that has to do with money, you give them advice on travel, home, car, insurance, money, utilities. And specifically, they have a lot of different active users that trust them with all of their information, right? And specifically, they're listed on the London Stock Exchange. So it's a company that is pretty insane. Now, the platform itself, it has trusted brands that provide good calculators. Like they have like fucking basically some very basic ass chatbots, right? So that's how they're utilizing AI. They have an app, right? They're you anything to get them to provide them with value, like in terms of blogs, right? But obviously people in the UK are still a bit, they're not that adequate in using AI, but a lot of that is going to switch and centralize around ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, right? So all these comparison sites, they will be affected in the future as well. And specifically, they have about 5,000 like corporate giants buying leads and customers of them, because if they can get customers reliably from Money Supermarket, it is essentially super valuable for them, right? Because imagine you can get consistent clients, know how much you would be paying, right, for a client. For instance, if they're paying for 10 leads, right, and for $10, they would, and they out of 10 leads, they turn one into a customer, then you have a customer acquisition cost of $100, in this case pounds. And if they obviously they don't do it at like this small scale, they do like they buy tens of thousands of leads, if not hundreds and thousands of leads, and they have all of this data and can scale consistently with all these marketplaces, right? Pay per lead sites. I'm building my own one in the gold IRA space. So if you have any questions and want to do something similar, DM me. And if you're serious about moving into the space, right, I work with people on a profit share basis, with a slight upfront cost. So you can also message me. I'm quite talkative. Now, specifically in the financial vertical side, they are in insurance, money, cashback, home services. Now you see insurance, right? One of my mentors, he pulled 14 million of seven main clients over the course of a few years, right, from the insurance market in the US. Some of them you probably heard before, like Allianz, right, German insurance giants that have millions, tens of millions in marketing spend. So they're able to send their pay per lead companies $100,000, 200, $300,000 if it makes sense, if the return on investment is there. All of this data is tracked on the back end, right? All of this data, right? How many customers converted from your leads, is all of it is tracked on the back end. We're selling data, right? This is marketing. We're arbitraging data, and we're basically utilizing our media buying skills for it. Now, comparison site is one of the methods you can generate leads, right? This is like already hella advanced, like 20 years of doing it, 30 years of doing like blogs and building up trusted, like people trust this face, right? They trust like this guy, right? And they trust these blogs, right? So on our side, when starting out, we run meta ads. We generate leads for $10, sell them for 20. So that's basically it. You need to get good at media buying, right? As you can see, I showed you in the beginning, it is the main core skill. Insurance, money, home service, cashback, and travel, right? All very, very like everyday things that people need. And specifically, not all leads are created equal because home services are very, very, very valuable. I made a video on HomeBuddy. Took them 4 years to scale to $150 million. They got acquired by Quinn Street for $150 million, all cash. Go watch it. And specifically, home services are like roofs, home renovation, bathroom renovation, high ticket services that can be sold at a higher cost. The more money your customers make, the more you can charge them. Now, money, insurance, cashback, and travel. Money is obviously the second one. Those two print, right? Insurance as well. Cheap attention in, expensive demand out. So obviously they took 20 years to build their brand, but if you're serious about entrepreneurship and you don't want to be like one of these marketing gurus, right, that like does like an OnlyFans agency, like a SMMA for a few years, gets some cash, spends it, and then go does something else. You want to build something sustainable that you can sell, that you can build enterprise value with, right? Then pay per lead is one of the best models to consider. And specifically, why it is like so interesting is because now you have AI, right? Like there's this guy who made $400 million, right? The first one, two brothers, $400 million, valued at $1 billion, and they basically have a pay per lead business attached, in combination with a drop shipping infrastructure in the specific weight loss segment in America. So I made a video on Medvi. Is actually my best video. I'm so fucking proud of it. And you can also go check it out and learn lot of stuff on how the affiliate industry works. Because I don't do shallow content, as you can see, right? All of this is insanely in depth, and that's how basically this industry, like you need to be industry experts, right? And also made a video on the different types of verticals. So you, it's an hour long, so you can check it out to make the right decision. Now, specifically, they have a lot of people on the email list, right? Hormozi said that was important. You get their trust, right? People always check their emails. 5,000 different buyers. That's your ecosystem. You have consumers that trust you, millions of them, and you have shareholders, right? So that's the infrastructure on the back end. Retainer, 20 to 40 clients, right? You're scaling yourself, working 10, 20 hours a day, not 20, but like 12, right? It's super hard to scale. Your margins are thin. Deal with fucking tech dinosaurs who don't know how to open up Facebook accounts, right? Like integration problems, all kinds of problems on the operational side. Managing people is super fucking hard. And in pay per lead, you can run a fucking $50 million business with a team of less than 20 people. um and like my mentor built a fucking 14 million business with 4 people. So I don't even have employees right now. I'm like honestly freelancers, and if you want to work in like my business, feel free to like reach out to me if you're really good at media buying, editing, or AI integration stuff with API and stuff like that. We're hiring. And specifically now, right, pay per lead essentially is the most underrated business model because nobody's talking about legit nobody. Iman, right? Like my mentor is like the goat of the industry, Jacob Jablonski. You can check out his content as well. And he is hella introverted, which is why, like, which is why there's not that much juice on the internet. But yeah, if you have any questions, guys, DM me on Instagram. But don't waste your 20s picking out the wrong vehicle, right? Because you might be Alex Hormozi, an S tier entrepreneur stuck in a fucking D tier gym like model, and then you switch to info and everything just exploded, and then acquisition.com. You know the rest of the story. All right. You guys have an amazing day.